Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, Forever in Memory. In this video, we'll be honoring American celebrities who have passed away today and in recent days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we begin, please show your support by giving this video a like. It really helps the channel. Thank you. And let's get started.
Glenn Allison was an American 10-pin bowler who passed away at the age of 95. Known as one of the sport's true legends, he was celebrated for his remarkable skill, precision, and longevity on the lanes. Often called Mr. 900, he made history in 1982 when he rolled a perfect 900 series during league play, an achievement that became a symbol of excellence and controversy when it was not officially recognized by the governing body at the time. His dedication, sportsmanship, and calm mastery of technique inspired generations of bowlers across the United States and beyond. Born in 1930 in California, Allison's name became synonymous with perseverance and perfection in bowling, leaving behind a legacy that continues to shape the sport's history.
Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick was an American politician who passed away at the age of 80. A distinguished member of the United States House of Representatives from 1997 to 2011, she was known for her firm advocacy of education, economic development, and equal opportunity. Representing Michigan's 13th Congressional District, she became a respected voice for Detroit and its communities, working tirelessly to secure federal support for urban renewal and social justice initiatives. Before her time in Congress, she served in the Michigan House of Representatives, where her leadership and commitment to public service earned her wide recognition. Born in Detroit in 1945, Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick dedicated her life to empowering underserved communities and championing fairness in governance, leaving a legacy of strength, dignity, and progress in American politics.
Djilali Selmi was an Algerian footballer who passed away at the age of 79. Renowned for his skill, discipline, and deep understanding of the game, he was among the early figures who helped shape the foundation of Algerian football after independence. Playing as a midfielder, Selmi was admired for his sharp vision, elegant control of the ball, and quiet leadership on the field. He represented Algeria in the late 1960s and early 1970s, a time when the national team was forging its identity and inspiring a new generation of players. Beyond his athletic achievements, he was remembered as a man of humility and integrity who carried the pride of his nation wherever he played. Born in 1946 in Algeria, Djilali Selmi left a lasting imprint on the country's sporting history, symbolizing passion, perseverance, and national pride.
Halid Bešlić was a Bosnian-Croatian folk singer who passed away at the age of 71. Known for his deep, emotive voice and heartfelt performances, he became one of the most beloved figures in the musical heritage of the Balkans. His songs, filled with themes of love, longing, and the soul of his homeland, resonated across generations and borders. Rising to fame in the 1980s, Bešlić's music blended traditional sevdah with contemporary folk, creating timeless hits that spoke to the heart of every listener. Despite facing personal hardships, including a near-fatal car accident, his resilience and passion for music never faded. Born in 1954 in Knežina, near Sarajevo, Halid Bešlić's legacy endures as a symbol of strength, tradition, and the unifying power of song throughout the former Yugoslavia.
Sir John Gurdon was an English biologist who passed away at the age of 92. A pioneer in the field of developmental biology, he forever changed the understanding of how cells grow and specialize. His groundbreaking work in nuclear transplantation and cloning laid the foundation for modern stem cell research and regenerative medicine. In 2012, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine alongside Shinya Yamanaka for discoveries that revolutionized biology and offered new hope for treating incurable diseases. Throughout his career, Gurdon's name became synonymous with curiosity, perseverance, and scientific vision. Born in 1933 in Dippenhall, England, he rose from a schoolboy once told he would never succeed in science to one of the most respected scientists of his century, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance, humility, and boundless contribution to humanity's understanding of life.
José de Paiva Neto was a Brazilian religious leader who passed away at the age of 84. A writer, broadcaster, and humanitarian, he was best known as the president of the Legion of Goodwill, or Legião da Boa Vontade, an organization devoted to charity, education, and spiritual enlightenment. For decades, he championed the message of faith allied with reason, promoting solidarity, ethics, and compassion across Brazil and the world. His numerous books, radio programs, and speeches inspired millions, blending spiritual insight with social responsibility. Under his leadership, the LGW expanded its philanthropic reach, helping countless families and children in need. Born in 1941 in Rio de Janeiro, José de Paiva Neto dedicated his life to serving humanity through love, peace, and faith, leaving behind a legacy of hope and moral renewal that continues to touch generations.
Lou Ferrigno was born in Brooklyn, New York, to a family of Italian immigrants, where strength, endurance, and loyalty were deeply valued. His childhood was marked by hardship. At an early age, he lost most of his hearing due to an ear infection, a challenge that shaped his resilience and determination. Isolated and often misunderstood, young Lou learned early that success would not come through words, but through effort. He found solace in comic books, where heroes triumphed not by speaking, but by acting. And in those colorful pages, he discovered the symbol of power born from pain, a symbol that would define his life. As a teenager, Lou Ferrigno began lifting makeshift weights in his basement, turning his weakness into energy. His body became his language, a way to express everything he could not say aloud. Though mocked at school, he never responded with bitterness. Instead, he trained relentlessly, listening to the rhythm of his heartbeat, feeling each muscle grow stronger as a quiet declaration of defiance. By the time he was 18, Lou Ferrigno's physique drew admiration and awe. His muscles, sculpted with precision and patience, told the story of discipline and solitude. When he first stepped onto a bodybuilding stage, the audience saw more than a competitor. They saw a man who had transformed adversity into art. His dream was simple yet profound, to prove to himself that true strength is not just physical, but also born in the soul. The path of bodybuilding became not just his pursuit of glory, but his way of survival. Inspired by legendary figures like Steve Reeves, Ferrigno's journey was only beginning, one that would soon lift him from the quiet corners of Brooklyn to the bright lights of the world stage.
Ferrigno's rise in the world of bodybuilding was both meteoric and deeply human. In his early 20s, he began competing professionally, standing shoulder to shoulder with icons like Arnold Schwarzenegger during the golden age of the sport. His towering frame, powerful yet graceful, made him a natural standout. But behind that monumental physique lived a man driven by an inner fire, the desire to be seen, to be understood, and to prove that limitations exist only for those who accept them. In 1974, he competed in the Mr. Olympia contest, the very summit of bodybuilding, immortalized in the documentary Pumping Iron. That film introduced Lou Ferrigno to the world, the quiet giant training in the dim light of his Brooklyn basement, his father cheering him on with pride and longing. His story contrasted sharply with the charisma of Schwarzenegger, turning the film into a timeless portrait of struggle, ambition, and vulnerability. Although Lou did not take the title, he won something more enduring, the hearts of millions who saw themselves in his persistence. Despite the pain of defeat, Ferrigno never stopped evolving. He trained harder, studied himself, and began to understand that his destiny might extend beyond the stage. Hollywood noticed the man whose silence spoke louder than words. In 1977, he was cast as the Incredible Hulk, a role that would define him for generations. The transformation from humble bodybuilder to worldwide icon of strength was complete, yet Ferrigno approached fame with humility. Beneath the green makeup and muscle lay the same boy from Brooklyn who once dreamed of becoming a hero. For Lou, the Hulk was not a monster. He was a mirror, a creature of rage and tenderness, misunderstood by the world, yet filled with humanity. And in that paradox, Ferrigno found himself.
In the years that followed, Ferrigno stepped into the role that would carry his image to every living room on the planet. Cast opposite Bill Bixby and the television series The Incredible Hulk, he endured long hours in the chair while makeup artists turned him a vivid green, then walked onto set with a presence that felt both terrifying and tender. Viewers did not simply watch a monster smash through walls. They saw a man wrestling with rage, isolation, and the wish to be understood. Inside that contrast lived the power of Ferrigno's performance. He moved with the weight of a burdened heart and the caution of someone who knew what it meant to be judged on first sight. Week after week, the audience learned to feel for the creature. They were really learning to feel for Lou. Fame arrived like a flood, yet he did not let it wash away the discipline that built him. Between shoots, he trained the only way he knew how, with steady sets and a mind fixed on progress. When the series ended, he carried the momentum into films and guest roles, from sword and sandal adventures to playful cameos that nodded to his legend. The world had met Lou the icon. Now it began to meet Lou the working actor who kept showing up, learning new rhythms, and letting the cameras find more than muscle. He brought humor to his appearances on sitcoms and talk shows. He brought generosity to fan conventions, where people waited in long lines to tell him that his story had helped them endure their own. Then came a decision that surprised many. Years after the bright blaze of the bodybuilding spotlight, Ferrigno returned to the stage. He was older and wiser. He was also unafraid. Under the unforgiving lights, he posed again, a living testament that ambition can be renewed and that strength can be rebuilt after the world thinks your chapter is closed. He did not chase nostalgia.
He chased proof that growth remains possible at any age. The result was not only a set of placements on the sport's biggest nights. The result was a message to every person in every gym who had ever wondered if it was too late to begin again. Off stage, he worked on another kind of transformation. Hearing technology advanced, and with it came a new kind of clarity. After a lifetime of relying on hearing aids, he embraced modern implants and found the world opening in subtle ways. Everyday sounds sharpened. The voice of a friend felt closer. He spoke publicly about the experience and about the stubborn hope that had carried him through the years when conversation often felt like a wall. For people living with hearing loss, his candor was not a celebrity anecdote. It was a hand extended across the divide. Ferrigno's life filled with roles that seemed unlikely for a man known first for his size. He served in reserve law enforcement capacities, sharing fitness expertise and lending his name to community programs that encouraged discipline, resilience, and respect. He trained artists preparing for physically demanding tours. He launched fitness ventures that reflected the same slow and honest approach that once built his physique in a basement. Along the way, he became a mentor to younger athletes and actors who arrived with the familiar mixture of hunger and fear. He did not preach. He showed them what steady work looks like in practice. At home, he carried the quiet pride of a father and husband. His family saw the difference between the public symbol and the private man who cooked simple meals, checked on loved ones, and listened carefully, even when the world around him still felt loud. The son who once turned pages of comic books in search of heroes had created a life where comic book courage looked like patience, kindness, and follow-through. He did not need to lift a car to impress anyone. He needed to be there on an ordinary Tuesday. The culture kept calling him back for winks and tributes. He appeared as himself in comedies, traded lines with younger stars who had grown up watching him, and lent his unmistakable presence to new versions of the character that had defined an era. Sometimes he provided a voice. Sometimes he walked across the screen for a few seconds and stole the scene with a smile that said he understood the joke and welcomed it. Each appearance reminded audiences that myths endure because people invest their own hopes in them. Lou had become one of those myths, but he never treated it like a crown. He treated it like a responsibility. People often ask what his legacy is. They expect an answer about the television show or the trophies. Those matter. They are chapters written in bright ink. Yet the deeper legacy lives in a quieter place. It lives in the kid who is different and decides to pick up a weight instead of hiding.